town planning supported by the Norwegian Refugee Council (NRC), funded by the Norwegian Agency for Development Corporation (NORAD).
PRTV, committed to you.
90.5 FM. It's 9 a.m. and of course it has been a rainy Thursday morning right here in the Tin City of Jos. Welcome to the program Good Morning Plateau with Munkoe London Wadak. Have a great time listening.
Hello and welcome to Good Morning Plateau, your daily dose of Plateau, coming to you live from Peace 90.5 FM Jos and streaming on all our digital platforms. And as Planret Mark Dabang rightly pointed out, I am Munkawe London Wadak. Now this morning is sponsored, or rather this morning, as we are sponsored by the Norwegian Refugee Council, we will be looking at a technology that is quietly changing the way land can be understood, managed and administered. Our focus is the role of geographic information systems in efficient land administration. Now, what exactly does GIS do? How can it help us know where land is, who has rights to it, what its boundaries are, and how land information can be managed more efficiently and transparently? To help us understand all of this, we are joined by ESV Bulus Ndaka, head of PLAGIS, and Juliana Dalyop, I.C.T. She is an analyst, rather program analyst with the I.C.T. department of the Ministry of Lands, Survey and Town Planning. You're both welcome to Good Morning Plateau.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right, so let's start from the beginning. I always prefer to do that. GIS in simple language. So, Mr. Ndaka, for the ordinary person who has never heard of GIS, what exactly is a geographic information system and what does it do? What does it have to do with land administration?
Yeah, good morning, listeners. GIS is an acronym of Geographic Information System. Now, GIS, Geographic Information System, is a system for capturing, analyzing, storing, displaying, and a lot of work of locations. You know, on the Earth's surface we have locations. So every location has its own coordinates. So this system analyzes, capture data on every location, and these locations we call them in survey coordinates. So it gives us the coordinates of location, certain location on the Earth's surface. So GIS is a tool that we use. Before the coming of the GIS, people were using, we pick coordinates. In fact, when we started, we were using tape and prismatic compass, which gives you bearing and distance. You know, when we're talking about land parceling, we do all those measurements. We give us those measurements. So you were using that. Then we're also using theodolites. So in the advancement of the technology in land or on the Earth surface or issues, or in the space issues, we are now having the GIS. And that GIS is not just only on land administration, but it's also in a very broad, because we use it in very different ways. So that is, in a nutshell, that is what GIS is, Geographic Information System is.
All right. Now, of course, you've given us a clear understanding of what that is, and you've even cited examples that we can better understand. And interestingly, I am just getting to know, along with the listener, that GIS goes beyond land administration also. We live and learn. Now, GIS, of course, from what you said, isn't just simply about looking at maps. It can actually help us understand the information behind the land. Now, let's come to how it improves land administration. Now, Juliana, let's talk about the ministry. How does GIS make land administration faster, more accurate, and more efficient? And what can a digital system do that applies, or that piles of paper and files cannot? Just tell us why this move from those stockpiles of files and papers that we have got, as opposed to GIS being something that doesn't need any paper, basically.
Okay, thank you very much. As Mr. Ndaka has rightly said, the GIS is used for storing, analyzing, and display of geographic data on maps. So the effects of a GIS in land administration, it improves record keeping. That is digital storage of land records instead of paper files. So now we have less of paper files. Most of our documents are saved on our database, that is using the GIS, and it's easy for retrieval and also updating, protection of land ownership as well. It's also accurate in mapping and surveying, that is giving the precise size of parcels of land, and then also it reduces disputes of land boundaries, because with the GIS you have the accurate size of your land, that's the portion of your land, and it also averts issues of overlapping and also having to give two titles on the same property, because before you register your property, with the introduction of the GIS, we will have to check first of all on our GIS to know if this property has been sold or has been issued to another person. So with the GIS, it makes it easier for us to know that, okay, this land is not, it has not been assigned to any other person. So we now go ahead and register the property, and at the end of the day, we give you your title on it.
Now, when information is easier to find, the next issue would be confidence. Can people trust what they are seeing? Let's talk about transparency and land disputes. Thankfully, you talked about averting issues concerning multiple titling and overlapping. Mr. Ndaka, land disputes are a major concern for many people. Now, can GIS help identify boundaries, overlapping claims, or conflicting land information before problems become bigger disputes? Now we want to know the efficacy, that is, of using GIS as opposed to what we had before.
Yeah, before now we were using manual charting sheets, and in the manual charting sheets, those are the cadastral maps we were using, the physical cadastral maps. Now we're using those maps then, having the map is made up of cloths and a paper. So working manually, one charts on the paper and on the charting sheets, and when one charts on the charting sheets, in the course of constant use or frequent use of the sheets, the paper peel off, and as it peel off, if any application that comes on that same land, that same survey will also, that charting will be done on that same paper, that sheet again, which gives us what we always have as overlapping. Now, with the coming of the GIS, that is introducing the use of the GIS, we digitize it on the computer sheets, computer pages, and when we digitize, because let me let listeners understand that it is what the surveyors brought from the site, that is the coordinates, the longitudes and the latitudes that the surveyors brought from the site, that we put in, because every parcel of land, every position here on earth has its own coordinates, the longitudes and latitudes. Even if they are just close by, they have their different coordinates. So as these coordinates are picked from the field, we come into the ministry and insert them in the data, in the GIS platform that we're having. We have the cadastral mapping. So in that cadastral sheet that we have in the office, we put in that. So when somebody comes in with another application that is on the same position of land, as you as you digitize it on that land, it will show that no, this place is a particular land that belongs to somebody. So it now takes away issue of giving title over a title.
Right now, so as a follow-up, how can an accurate mapping system and land records help protect both landowners and the government? I know that for those who are not to the to your field, they would quite easily understand that. But not everybody understands this. So please, if you can, further give us information as to how the accuracy of mapping and land records can help protect especially landowners that may not even know what to start doing about getting a title, or they don't even know that they need a title, how it can protect them, and then of course on the other side how it can also protect government.
Yes, the accuracy starts from the surveyor from the site. If the surveyor from the site or from the land, if the land surveyor now do his work very well, the accuracy is okay. Now we have higher precision instrument that we are using today. Those instruments, as we use them, it goes a long way to give us good accuracy of this measurement. In fact, the differences is plus or minus 1 or 2 centimeter, which is a very high accuracy. So bringing it back to now the GIS platform to insert in that system, it gives us exact what is it on it. Now, for instance, if you come to our office, because we have stages of work in the office that we check those accuracy. Now, in the stage of the survey, we have the survey quality checking office, which we normally call SQCO. When the surveyor brings in data from the site, we subject those checks. They subject that survey plan in that checks first to be sure that all the coordinates are exactly correct. We subject it also to the digitizing platform, where we digitize it and see, okay, does this land form, especially where there is a perimeter fence. If they put in the beacons, the coordinates in the digital, you discover that it falls on those wall, on that perimeter fence, exact what the number is coming from the side. Then the final stage in the survey checking that gives us to now be sure of the accuracy, that the person having the property will not be having entertain anything is by having what we go to the charting sheet again. Now the charting sheet, that is 3 stages we have to make sure that the accuracy, one from the survey that is from the side, secondly the SQCO, that is survey checking office, the third is the digitizing office, and the fourth one is so we have those accuracy from these 4 stages is correct. It gives us a long way to now give a secure title, a title that somebody will have and he will never have any doubt about it.
Of course, it goes without saying that systems are only as useful as the information inside them are reliable. Now let's talk about accurate information some more. Coming to the analyst again. Now, Juliana, how does the system ensure that information being captured is correct? I know that Mr. Ndaka has spoken at length about the accuracy of the system, but then take it a bit further from an analyst's point of view, and then tell us who collects the information and how is it verified and how often is it updated. This is important because, there could be a situation where some people, strangers, would show up on your land and then they claim that they were sent from the ministry to carry out a survey or to get information, and so on and so forth. So this is just to dispel, to make people understand who is responsible for what and how is the scope of their duties.
Okay, if I get your question very clear, you're talking about, is it the survey aspect or the documents you submit before we issue your title?
Yes, let's put both together if possible.
Okay. So first of all, the documents you will need to submit before you can get a title at the end of the day. You have the sales agreement, you have the change of ownership, the survey plan, as he has explained. The surveyor, you either come to the ministry or you get a registered surveyor outside the ministry that will carry out the survey. And as I said earlier, before we register, we have to check. That's taking it to the SQCO, as I said, for them to verify the accuracy of the document you are submitting. So once that is done, you bring all these documents and you submit it to the customer service. There they will get all the documents and verify. Now we check the signatories of the documents. That's the sales agreement, the change of ownership. You are going to submit your passport photograph and also your ID card. Now we accept the ID card that has your signature, either your driver's license or your office ID or international passport. Those are ID cards that have signatories on it. So you submit these documents, the customer service will verify if the documents are complete, they take it to the next office, that is the registry. They will verify also, and then before they raise a demand notice for you to know how much you're going to pay for the processing of the document. So now we get your fees based on the square meters. That is, we're still going back to the survey, because it's from the survey plan we have the total square meters of your land. So we bill you based on the square meters. So you can see that somebody will have 100 by 50, the same thing with another person, but you discover that maybe this person's fee will be a bit higher, maybe with 5,000 or lesser. So it's the accuracy of the survey that determines how much you pay at the end of the day. Thank you.
Interesting. Now, what happens if, let me give you a hypothetical situation. What happens when information that appears on the paper or the paper records begin to conflict with your digital systems, what the digital system shows? For example, a field survey has been carried out. It's been fed into the system, as you both have explained how that happens. But then another, or maybe a review. Either, let's take for example, the landowner gets a private surveyor to do the survey, and now the ministry wants to confirm, and then there's a conflict. What happens in such a situation?
Yeah, we invite the surveyor and show him the difference or the errors of what he has done. He will still have to go back to the site. He will still have to carry out the survey, and at the end he has to give us the accurate survey. If not, our system will not accept it, and then we will not be able to issue a title, because whatever is being digitized is captured on the maps. So anywhere you can just put in your coordinates, and then you will see the land or the parcel of land. So if it's not accurate, if you put in the coordinates, it may be falling on a different area. If the land is in Wayfield and then you have wrong coordinates, once you input the coordinates, it will take you maybe to Hoshe or take you to Tudunwada or something. So you discover that it's not correct. So the surveyor will have to go back and effect the correction.
Yeah, Mr. Wada, can I add something to?
Yes, please.
Yeah, when you look at from that this, and you're talking about, we always have issue. We say hypothetical issue. Now, we have variance most times, and one of such variance, because as she said on the requirements we need for processing of documents, we need sales agreement and change of ownership. Now, in the sales agreement, size of the land is stated. For instance, you say 450 square meter. Then you come to your survey and discover that your survey is 650 square meter. There is a great variance of almost 200 square meter. Now, when we have such differences, we query it, because we discover, okay, if the landowner sold the land to you that is 450 square meter based on what he signed in your sales agreement and change of ownership, and you come into us with a survey plan that is 650 square meter, we ask you, where do you get the extra 200 square meter from? So we have to query it and invite you, the owner applicant, go back again and check. So looking at accuracy, in addition to what she said about the survey issues, we always check that in the office to ensure that what we're putting as in our database, because in the GIS we're running two platforms. We have registry and we have cadastral. So the registry is handling the land information system, while the cadastral is handling the GIS system. So for what we're putting into our system, we ensure that what we're putting there is clean and a secure, good documents. We don't want a document that is a kind of trash that we put on our cadastral. So I want to just add into the issue of the accuracy as you asked.
All right, now let's move to what GIS means for the ordinary citizen, because of course if we do not, we certainly have to move from the system itself to the people who are expected to benefit from it, because it's a design for people. It's not just a design for its own sake. So if I'm an ordinary landowner in Plateau State, how does GIS make life easier for me? And then, can it make it easier to identify my property, process land documentation, access information, and protect my land rights? This question actually comes from people who have accosted me since we started this series with the Norwegian Refugee Council. People are interested to know these things. I know that we have gone over it in subsequent programs, but please do well to go over it again.
Yeah, I think when we get there, because our GIS will not yet get there, we're just on our way getting there. By the time we're fully on the GIS platform, a lot of people will have the benefit of doing their work virtually. They mustn't come to Lands and Survey to put in their applications. They mustn't come to Land and Survey, submit their applications. They will not come to Land and Survey to even do payments, because GIS, by the time we're there fully, will be connected. There will be a nexus of our platform, Geographic Information PLAGIS platform, with the Board of Internal Revenue, with the Office of the Governor, because the Governor is in charge of all this, connected to that aspect, with the PICDA, so that by the time we have our portal, because by the time we have fully upgraded GIS, because we are not yet there, we want to plead with the people of Plateau State that we are not yet there. By the time we get there, they sit at the comfort of their house, download the application or fill in the application online, submit the application with all the required documents. We will start processing. In fact, we will start processing your documents online. You will do your payments online, because as you do the payments, it gets to Board of Internal Revenue. Board of Internal Revenue confirm to us. In fact, we can even work from home, because the one has gone to a level that not necessarily must sit down and this. In fact, we will be linked up to our homes. Users will be linked up to their various homes to work. So we'll be connected to online. We reduce stress of coming to the Land Survey, following up your file. You can even do search. This is one of the aspects, because in the GIS platform we have over 53 different activities, work that we do on GIS. It's not just RFO and CFO. It's not just this. We have assignment, we have caveat, we have merger, we have extension, part surrendering. There are a lot. Lodgement of court judgment. You can sit at the comfort of your house and just do this. Wherever you are abroad, you can sit down and fill a form. Unlike now, you have to come to the office. My colleague here gave a lot of breakdown. You have to do. We can do those things. It will reduce a lot of going up and down, and it reduce people spending money. I think that is one of the biggest things that we're looking forward to have on the GIS in Plateau State.
Now, for someone planning to buy land, can GIS help them make better decisions, especially before they part with their money? If you remember the last time, I brought up an issue also about what one needs to do before they finally say, fine, I'm making payment on this land, to switch the ownership from the original owner to the person who is interested in the land for some kind of development, maybe their own personal home, a business, or whatever kind of use. So talk to us about how GIS can help the prospective landowner make better decisions.
GIS can help somebody, before you part with your money, if somebody offer a land for you to sell, that day we talked about due diligence. And those due diligence that is expected for one to do, one is, if the land is having a title, come to the ministry. You do your search. With the search form is 5,000. The fee for the search for now, the governor graciously gave us the rebate of 50% discount. So instead of paying 20,000, you pay 10,000 naira. For you to part with a huge amount of money for paying the land that at the end of the day might likely be a fraudulent land. If you parted with 10,000 naira and the land is genuine, good and fine, you go ahead. So doing the search already, the system, because we have a system, though the system went down, but we're working on bringing it up again. The system that you can do search online or you do search on the physical file. She said something here about uploading of our files, because the ministry has uploaded over 90% of its file into our database, so you can also do that search. So you see the GIS has made it easier. If you just come, I want to search this file, go ahead to do that search online. Now if it's a land that does not have a title, you need to have a surveyor. Let the surveyor go to the land, pick coordinates for you. The surveyor, because she said something about the checking office. We have a checking office in the Surveyor General's office. Just make the staff at the Surveyor General office, I have this coordinate. Because before you even create a file for any person, application file for any parcel of land, we subject those files to that checks. They will check the coordinate and ensure that that place has no overlap to somebody's land. So it's a call that any other person buying land, I said it that last time, that any person buying land on the Plateau State, just don't buy your land and sit down and relax. If you bought the land and after buying the land you relax and say, no, I don't have money for buying the land and maybe for coming to process the documents. Somebody that will come and buy before you will come to Land and Survey and obtain a title. So we subject the survey plan to a check. Now, when the survey plan is subjected to a check to see whether it overlaps a title, if it's not overlapping a title, you can go ahead to now negotiate with people. You follow all the procedures I said last time. If it's a paper, a land without documents, go to the Miangwa, verify that the person selling the land is the owner of the land. If it's not the owner of the land, does the person given power of attorney to sell the land? And is the power of attorney registered? Don't just have power of attorney. Somebody will write something, you have it and say, I have it. This thing. Power of attorney registered. Because we do the registration in the office. You register and say you are giving somebody the right to go ahead to do the transaction on my behalf. Then you follow the processes, the village head, the district head, the local government, then you come to our office, we continue the process. Then that is brief about it, please.
All right, now we know that technology can make processes better, but it also brings new responsibilities. Certainly, the ministry is automating, and definitely that means more capabilities, more abilities, and all of that. So let's look at security and the future. Now, land information is sensitive information. How is digital land information protected from loss, unauthorized access, or manipulation?
Thank you. As I said earlier, once you make your submissions and you pay, we capture everything. We scan all the documents from the first page to the last page. And as the process continues, any new documents you bring, we update. So we have it saved in our database. So even if the physical file is missing, we have everything on our database. And our database is secure in such a way that you cannot delete or remove whatever has been put in there. It's safe and secure. So if somebody comes and say, I've been looking for my file and I cannot find it, and if your file has been captured on the database, you are safe. You check and then you see that all your documents are intact. So it is safe and secure. So they can trust us with that.
All right, still on the issue of looking ahead, now what more can the Plateau State government achieve if GIS becomes fully integrated into land administration? Just give us an idea. Could we eventually have a system where citizens can access more land-related services without having to make repeated trips to the government offices, like Mr. Ndaka alluded to? Just paint a picture that could better, the listener could better appreciate what GIS can accomplish.
Okay, as he said, if we are fully onto GIS, you don't have to come to Lands and Survey for anything. At the comfort of your house, you can go to our website, you send in your application. You don't even have to come for your CFO. You can download your CFO yourself. It's going to be very easy, and for even the staff, you can work from home, and it's going to increase, it's going to boost the revenue of the state, because sometimes people don't trust us now with their money. You don't have to come and meet Juliana and say, I need you to help me make payments and stuff like that, and you are scared I will not pay. You stay in your house, you make your payment, immediately the system will activate your payment and we continue with your processing. Now, even the surveyors, you don't have to worry about maybe I don't trust this person, so I cannot go there and do this, because they have been saying that land and survey staff, maybe we don't keep accurate, we don't keep documents safe. But with this, everything is going to be seamless. The government at the end of the day will see how the revenue of the state is going to increase, and also even the poor of the poorest can also register their land, because all this corruption will reduce, because you don't have to come and give me money to process your papers. You do it yourself. You don't need to go and follow up. You don't need to say, you don't even need agents to do this for you. You can do it yourself. So it's going to be very seamless. Everybody will be able to register and have a title at the end of the day.
That's quite interesting. Ultimately, the value of any technology at all is measured rather by the difference it makes in the lives of the people. So we will take a short break at this point. And you listener, listening to Good Morning Plateau, your daily dose of Plateau live on Peace 90.5 FM Jos, sponsored by the Norwegian Refugee Council. Stay with us. Your questions will be coming up next. And ensure that even if you don't have a question, at least if you have a contribution, a comment that could be helpful to another listener, please, we would be entertaining those after the break.
Wake up to the rhythm of the night. This is Good Morning
Plateau State, have you secured your legal ownership? The Plateau State Ministry of Land Survey and Town Planning will commence the implementation of the Systematic Land Titling and Registration Program. Systematic Land Title Registration is an organized government process of identifying, surveying, recording, and registering all land parcels within a defined area to provide legal proof of ownership and improve land administration. This program makes it easier, faster, and more transparent for landowners to obtain legal documents for their land. A registered title protects your property from disputes, increases its value, provides security for your family, and can help you access financial opportunities. When officials visit your community, cooperate with them by providing accurate information and the required documents. For more information, contact your community leaders or the Plateau State Ministry of Land Survey and Town Planning. Remember, your land deserves legal protection. Register it today for a secure tomorrow. Systematic land titling and registration, bringing secure land ownership closer to every citizen of Plateau State. This message is brought to you by the Plateau State Ministry of Land Survey and Town Planning, supported by the Norwegian Refugee Council (NRC), funded by the Norwegian Agency for Development Corporation (NORAD).
Welcome back, listener. This is Peace 90.5 FM Jos, and you're listening to Good Morning Plateau, your daily dose of Plateau. I am Munkabwe London Wadak, and we've been discussing the role of geographic information systems in efficient land administration. Our guests still remain Bulus, Ndaka, head of PLAGIS, and Juliana Dalyop, principal program analyst, I.C.T, Ministry of Land Survey and Town Planning. Now we've looked at GIS, what it is, how it improves land administration, its role in mapping and identifying land, transparency, accuracy, land disputes, and what technology could mean for ordinary landowners and prospective land buyers. Now let's hear from you. Remember to keep your questions and comments brief and relevant. Please be respectful, no abusive language or offensive language, and give us your name and location before you contribute or ask your question. And you could do so by dialing 0812-588-6048. That number again is 0812-588-6048. Let's hear your views, let's hear your thoughts on this issue of GIS and how it is going to improve our lives. It is going to improve, land tenure and protect you, most importantly, by giving you a title that is secure. Unlike what we had in the past, where you could buy land and then wake up one day and discover that you never bought land. You actually made a donation to somebody or some people. Right, so we will be expecting your calls for your comments and your contributions, and I think we have a first caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm Peace Ambassador Caleb Lamerle from Voice of Industry, India, Radio Senator.
All right, Caleb Lamerle, you're welcome to the show.
This information that the gate is given to us is very vital. Our research should be keep on going so that the society will be educated on the importance of documentation and importance of land ownership. And how I wish that this should be introduced even in the school so that we know the importance of it. Some time ago, I saw some students on the industrial training. They moved from farm to farm on practical issues, and they were talking about this topic that the gate is taking. But now the gate has opened my eyes open to how I wish should be continual going program so that the society to protect the land. And this issue of land ownership, private schools, churches, the mosques are really facing a lot of problems on the issue of land ownership. How I wish this program should be extended to this particular organization so that their land should be protected very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you indeed, Caleb Lamerle. It will be very interesting to see, such a thing being introduced into the school curriculum because Plateau has its peculiarities and protection of land titles is a very, very big deal for us on the Plateau. Right, that has been noted and the guest will have an opportunity to respond later on. Let's take some more calls before we do so. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. You're on to Good Morning Plateau on Peace 90.5 FM. May we know your name and where you're receiving us from?
Thank you. This is Monday Chess Home from Panyam.
All right, Monday, you're welcome to the show. Go right ahead.
Monday Chess Home.
I got that. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Could the guest talk to us on the preconditions and practical steps needed to be taken in registering title to a land acquired by inheritance?
All right.
You get me?
Yes, we got you clear.
Pardon?
Yes, we got you clearly.
I said could you talk to us on the preconditions and the practical steps needed to be taken in registering title to a land acquired by inheritance.
All right.
Thank you.
Please keep listening. The guests will have an opportunity to respond as the program goes on. Let's get some more callers and contributions or questions. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, you're on to Good Morning Plateau on Peace 90.5 FM. May we know your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, are you getting me?
Yes, clearly.
Yes, Countess Kadun calling you from Kushubeki, Majority Leader.
All right, Majority Leader, the floor is yours.
Yes, I want to appreciate the effort of our guests this morning for this very great enlightenment. We need your number so that if we have problem, we call to you. This is very good information. What about people that are in rural areas? How could they benefit? How could you help those that are in rural areas? We need more awareness and sensitization to our people in rural areas. Appreciate what PRTV is doing on daily basis. Keep what they are doing up. That's my point. I love this show. Keep it up.
Thank you very much, radio speaker. Keep listening, and PRTV would do its best to always ensure that we bring to you quality content. Right, let's take some more calls before we allow our guest to respond. Probably one call, then we allow our guest to respond. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. I'm going to studio. Azia was my name. I'm trying to meet it to the summer government area.
All right, Azia, go right ahead.
Okay. This program is very important. It's one of the most very, very important programs as far as statistics are concerned. Because land is almost everybody uses land one way or the other. So, the situation going on the respect of land, in fact, it is not. Go to court, go to our court and see one that there are lots of litigations on daily basis coming. You see brothers that the brother, people from the same village, the same clan, the same community, the same local government. In fact, this issue of land has disintegrated our community, and we want to have peaceful coexistence, harmony. It means we must take it right as far as our land is concerned. Having said that, the years have already put us through this program of that we have been following it on daily basis. We have been learning a lot. So I believe people are also learning a lot. The lot of ignorance and mistakes of the past, it will help. After these programs, I'm sure so many people will go and create a litigation court cases because of ignorance. And some people are being cheated because of ignorance. I love what the judge says. Even in the comfort of your home, you can touch some of these processes of this land registration. Some of you are even educating officers. These are the procedures. These are the rules of the workplace, district board, land officers in the local government, still land service. There are many people who know. Some of them, we know that because of ignorance. Some of them, you want to spend millions of naira to buy land, and you don't want to follow the procedures of registration. So this program will continue to enlighten our people, so that we do the right. We need peace in the society. We don't need lots of this situation. That's my God bless you.
Amen, and God bless you too, Aziawari. Right. At this point, we'll put a pause to the calls and have your response to what we have got so far. So please, let's start with Mr. Ndaka.
Thank you very much. Mr. Caleb, we thank you, Father, thank you for the commendation. We appreciate your comments, thanking us in the ministry and also with the Norwegian Refugee Council and PRTV to sensitize people about land. The issue of saying we need to introduce this in school, yes. We thank God that GIS is being taught in the schools. People learn GIS in school. GIS and remote sensing is a course, and when they are in the school, they also come into our office for industrial attachment. In fact, we always encourage that our people should come into the ministry and also be part with us on industrial attachment, and also encouragement on the issue of land registration. Especially, he talks about organizations, schools. It's so unfortunate. Last time we talked about people that have ignorance of registration of land. If I will combine what he said and with Awari, talking about importance of land. The importance of land registration can never be overemphasized. People need to know that, as Awari said, if you have a land and you don't register it, at the end of the day, you may likely lose that land. We said here earlier on that if you have a land and if you register it, any person coming again to register, we tell him, look, somebody they have sold this land. There's no any double sales on the land. But if not registered, you can go ahead to register. And peradventure, an issue go to court. We'll go to defend the person that we have given him the title. And who is in charge of the land? The governor. The governor is in charge of all the land we have within the territory of the state. So if we have such this, we'll go a long way to not protest such land. So about inheritance. Last time I said something about registration of land that is customary owned. I explained it here explicitly that day that a land that is customary owned, a land that you inherited from your parents, you can register. But I said in the local government we have what we call confirmation of proof of ownership. That confirmation of proof of ownership is being endorsed by the ward head. I said very, very important. The ward are very, very key. And that is why we have to be very careful to the person we give as a ward head. If a ward head is a fraudulent person, you will be messing up a lot of things. So we should be careful the type of ward head we have. A ward head is not just to sit down in the comfort of their room to sign your documents. I think I need to let the people know about it. They're supposed to go to the land and see the extent of the land that is sold, so that they can now say, yes, this land belongs to Mr. Z, this land belongs to Mr. F, because he knows who owns land where within the community that he is heading that jurisdiction, that ward. So going to the land is very, very important. As you are showing him the demarcation, so also that same demarcation that he is going to endorse and the surveyor will endorse, and he is going to also go back to the village head. I'm talking to our brother now in Panyang, Monday, which talks about the condition of registration. You go to the point of village head, they say endorse, district endorse, local government will register, and when they register, these are the documents we in the ministry call them as a root of title. Why do we call them root of title? Because it gives birth to now the particular tree that gives right to that your title, that your RO4 and your CO4. So I think it's very, very key. And I also want to add here that people in the rural areas we have area offices. Let me make it clear that we have area office in Berkeladi. I said the last time, Berkeladi cover Berkeladi Rion. We have area office in Mangu, cover Mangu and Bokos. We have area office in Panshin, cover Panshin, Kanki, and Kanam. We have area office in Shandam, covers Shandam, Mikam, and Kwampan. We have area office in Lantan North, covers Lantan North, Lantan East. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Monday. Majority leader, you asked of a phone number where you can get us. So our phone number is 090-863-4499. Let me take it again. 090-863-4499. So this number is always online. You can call us and make inquiries at any time. We're available to answer you. And as my senior colleague has said, if you have any problem encountering from maybe even from the area offices that you don't understand, you can always call on this number for more clarification of anything that you find it difficult to understand. Thank you.
All right, we have quite a number of comments on Facebook, so let's take those, and then if we still have time, we'll take some more calls. Teresa Ngofuin says, good job. She likes the information that is being reeled out. Thank you very much, Teresa Ngofuin, one of us here. Isaac Doom says, morning, the great people of Plateau State. And then he says, PRO National Association Polytechnics and Monotechnics Students NAPS 2026 Plateau State Chapter. Well, I do not know how that relates, but anyway, we acknowledge that Isaac Doom is following. Yalgua Timothy says, good morning PRTVC, please accept my condolences over the death of program's presenter DDD. May his soul continue to rest in peace. Please let's keep the comments in line with the topic, please. Now, Umar Usman says, good morning. We acknowledge that you're watching, and of course, now this one from Comrade Kenzie Toklem says, good morning everyone and our special guest in the house. He says his name is Toklem Kenneth from Mangu Local Government, Plateau, currently in Lagos, and he wants to make an inquiry about land in Plateau State. Is government in charge of sale of lands, and if that is the situation, what is the procedure and where are the locations, because he would prefer to follow correct procedures on how to buy land before falling into the hands of 419. Thank you so much, Toglam, for sending that in. And another one comes in from Manji David, and it says, good morning Plateau. Good job to the Norwegian Refugee Council and to our guests today. Bringing GIS into land administration is a big step forward for Plateau State. Kudos to our guests for leading work that will make land services more efficient, transparent, and accessible for our people. Plateau is proud of this progress. Have a lovely day, my people. And we wish you the same, Mr. Manji David. Right, so those are the comments that we have on our Facebook page under the live stream, of course. So please respond to these ones, and if we have more time, then we can take some more calls.
Okay, thank you. From Mr. Kenneth in Lagos, you asked if the government is in charge of selling of lands. The government is in charge of layouts. If there are layouts, government layouts, that's when you can come over to the ministry and then you state the location you want. We'll check, and then if there's any layout available, we'll now give you the information you need about the layout, and then you go ahead and make your payments. But then, as my colleague earlier said, if you want to acquire land in Jos and you're afraid of falling victim of 419, you can also come to the ministry. We have people there that can help you acquire land, and then we also make inquiries to make sure that the land is free and is not from all these wayside people. So you can always come to the office.
Now, like I always do, I don't want to assume that everything is well. So please, if there are any misconceptions or misunderstandings about GIS especially, that probably you might have encountered with people in your own social circles, and you know that probably it might be on the minds of some listener that might have not been able to reach us today. Could you talk to us about these things, clear them up, so that we could, get people on the same page? A lot of people might not even be able to wrap their heads around the concept of GIS. So please be as frank and as simple as possible. Make the terms as simple as possible.
The concept of GIS is to ease processing of documents, create land documents, land records, and also making transparency. People see exactly what we have. I know a lot of people have some kind of misconception with our activities in the office, especially when they come to the office, they say missing files. I talked about that last time. I say when people come and they say my file is missing. So unfortunate that when in the GIS procedures, I think there are some certain things, or saying we granted title on a title, where we say, why do you say you are having GIS and you are issuing title on a title? I discovered that there are some certain steps we did not have it right in the beginning of our GIS. The beginning of our GIS is expected that when we were starting the GIS, we need to kind of hold on processing, undertake what we call recertification. After doing the certification, because what is recertification? Recertification is somebody is having a CFO. Let me say it in the layman's term. You have your former CFO, because then in those processes then we're doing, people were putting an application with site plan. And as I've said, site plan, we're doing site plan with prismatic compass and a tape. So then we have a lot of transfer of errors, because we have what we call the trick stations. The trick station, if you take a measurement from the trick station, use your prismatic compass to a particular parcel of land, you come at the point of one point of the piece of land, that is point 1, you put your beacon there, go to point 2, put beacon, and also come and use $2 to establish and put the beacon to put a position, coordinates or points on the piece of land. So then we are transferring errors. So it's expected that using GIS now, we're supposed to now record all those CFOs that we're having. Those CFOs we're supposed to now subject them to what we call recertification. What is the recertification? Bringing that CFO, we take our higher precision instrument that we have in our GIS platform now, use it to do what? Re-establish the beacon and give you the right coordinate and give you a digitized CFO. But then we have some challenges that we did not do that. So in the course of not doing that, go to a point, because I see we are talking about, you ask a question about misconception. We say this is what we have and this is what people are saying. Now we have those challenges and we are trying to work on them. And by God's grace, we are working to see that certification exercise needs to be done, so that it will remove this issue of saying we're granting CFO or title on land that has title already. When we have GIS platform, we're not supposed to give title over a land that has title. But then because of that error that we had in our beginning of the GIS, Geographic Information System, that gave us the room, or that gave the room for us to not grant title. We're working on doing that. And that is why we are starting this systematic land title registration that the Norwegian Refugee Council is sponsoring this program. We want to really use it, go hand in hand. In the course of doing the systematic land title registration exercise, when we get to a point that the person is having CFO, we now do the certification of that CFO, so that we now make sure that what we are going to now bring back to our database will be a genuine document. And the places that we are not doing systematic land title registration, we will do that recertification of all those old CFOs, so that we correct all what is in the old database, because what is in the old database, despite the fact you georeference it to this, but then they are full of errors. So we're working on seeing that we're going to correct that. So in a very, very short time, the ministry will go ahead to do that exercise of the certification. So people should just bear with us. The misconception, will correct it at the right time.
All right. Anything to add?
Yeah. The GIS comes with a lot of benefits to all the people on the plateau, and I want to encourage people, most especially the customary owners, let me put it that way, because when you talk to them about registering their property, some will tell you that it's my land, so nobody will come and take it away from me. But it's not like that. And then some people get discouraged because they feel at the end of the day they are going to start paying ground rent. But I tell you that the ground rent is nothing. It's just a small token. It's just a tax that you have to pay. And then for you, securing your land now is the best thing you will do to secure the future of your children when you are not around. Because we have a lot of land grabbers. As he said, if you buy a land and you did not register on time, and somebody buys the same land and registers before you, it automatically makes him the owner of the land, because when you go to court, and then we at the ministry, we're going to defend the person that has the title. And you discover that it's the same Miangwa, the same local government that signed and gave out the sales agreement and the change of ownership. So it's just to encourage people out there that no matter how little your land is, try and come to the ministry and register. As we are upgrading, your documents will be with us, and then it will be safe and secure. So trust GIS. GIS is the best for now. And then we'll also plead with the government to also facilitate the update of the GIS. Thank you.
All right, so in one sentence, as a parting shot, if we get GIS right, what changes for Plateau? I know you've said a lot, but then let's just narrow it down like that so that it will be a take-home for our listeners. And I wish we had more time. We would have spoken about these activities of signatories that sign one document on one title, and then they know fully well, and then they sign again for another person to get another title. But then let's just have that parting shot in one sentence. If we get GIS right, what changes for Plateau?
One sentence, we get GIS right. People will go a long way to have their title on time.
Awesome. And Juliana, in one sentence?
Yeah, same thing, because it's going to make our processes very fast and reliable too.
All right. ESV Sunday, Bulus, Ndaka, and Juliana Dalyop, thank you for joining us and making this important subject easier to understand. And we also thank the Norwegian Refugee Council, I beg your pardon, for supporting this conversation and making sure that we're educated about land issues. So our listener, callers, Facebook audience, and those on the live stream, thank you for being part of Good Morning Plateau. And let's leave you with this morning poser. Now, if we can put a map to our land, can we also put greater certainty to our land rights? Indeed, many thanks to our executive producer Rita Kachalompam, our supervising producers Hudung Gyang and Esther Nasara, and our producer here in the studio, Inga Samuel. Today we worked with Plangret Dabang as our duty continuity announcer, Samael Lamaku was our studio manager, and Thomas Wrangler was the engineer. I.C.T. that ensured the live stream went up and didn't fail was handled by Sabal Simon and Salma Semi Pashir. Newsroom sent in Helen Pam to cover this for the news, so in case you missed any part of this, you could keep a date, or rather get updated as our bulletins fly through. And our IT students also are on hand, learning and of course supporting. We have IT students from Plateau, Open University and Veritas University. We say thank you, and particular appreciation again must go to the Norwegian Refugee Council for making this package come through to you. And until next time, Good Morning Plateau is always your daily dose of Plateau, and it is something that you need to keep a date with Mondays to Fridays. Have a blessed one.